The government of South Korea is in absolute turmoil over a scandal involving a shamanistic cult and an unappointed, unelected friend of the president having unprecedented access to the government and using that influence to collect $70 million for her nonprofit organizations. Meanwhile, an insurance company wants to base premiums for customers on their Facebook posts, and an alarming trend has emerged in the world's oceans. Why do we keep finding two-headed sharks? This is The Loop. South Korean President Park Geun-hye faces expulsion from office as a result of a scandal that's rocked the country. Now, there's a lot of ground to cover here, but the short version is this. It's been revealed that Choi Soon-Sil, a close personal friend of the president, was rewriting confidential policy speeches for her. The public claims that the president is a puppet and that Choi has been running the country in secret. In a rare televised address, President Park apologized to her country, claiming that she only received insight from her friend in the early days of her presidency before she had set her presidential staff, all of whom she has since ordered to resign since the scandal broke. In addition to potentially rewriting policy, Choi Soon-Sil also received preferential treatment from the government and used her influence over the president to collect over $70 million in donations for her two nonprofit foundations. These donations came from major companies hoping to sway future national policy. Choi stands accused of siphoning off funds from the foundations for her personal use, including for horseback riding lessons for her daughter. As the country learned more about Choi Soon-Sil, they discovered that her father, Choi Tae-min, was a mentor to the president and apparently was the leader of a so-called shamanistic cult known as the Church of Eternal Life. Choi Soon-Sil was arrested Thursday morning, and President Park may soon be forced to resign. Over 10,000 people protested in Seoul, South Korea's capital, this past Saturday, calling for her resignation, and her approval rating has fallen to a record low of 14%. All of this comes as the South Korean Coast Guard fired upon Chinese fishing vessels, sparking tensions between the two nations. There will be much more on these developing stories in the days to come. What if your behavior on Facebook decided how much money you spent on car insurance? That's the question asked by UK company Admiral Insurance, who proposed a new voluntary program that would allow Admiral's algorithm to rifle through your Facebook posts to determine whether or not you'd be a safe bet on the road. Seems crazy, right? Well, Admiral set a pretty nice bait for their controversial plan. Drivers that the algorithm deemed safe could save up to £350 a year on their insurance plan. That's enough to make plenty of people ask, okay, what do my posts say about me? According to The Guardian, the algorithm would have favored users who were, quote, writing in short, concrete sentences, using lists, and arranging to meet friends at a set time and place rather than just tonight. However, if the algorithm determined that you were engaging in so-called overconfident behaviors, such as, quote, the use of exclamation marks and the frequent use of always or never rather than maybe, the algorithm would consider you a potentially risky driver and you would not be eligible for lower rates. Now, Facebook has since banned this practice. A Facebook spokesperson says that using data obtained from Facebook to determine eligibility for a program directly opposes their platform guidelines, so Admiral will not be able to use Facebook to set rates, but it's not their only unorthodox practice. According to Ars Technica, their black box insurance program allows Admiral to install a device known as Little Box inside of a driver's car, which collects data on your driving habits as you drive and sets rates based on a driving score derived from that data. It's a novel approach, and Admiral's behavior begs the question, is this how insurance companies should face the future? Over the past several years, the world has seen a rise in two-headed sharks. The creatures unfortunately rarely live beyond the fetal stage, but scientists are trying to determine exactly why they're becoming so common, with repeated sightings across shark species since 2008. Now, two-headed sharks are most often found among blue sharks, as female blue sharks carry more babies at one time than many other shark varieties, up to 50 at a time. Recently, Spanish researchers found a two-headed Atlantic sawtail cat shark embryo, according to a new study published in the Journal of Fish Biology. The researchers discovered the abnormality while raising sharks in a lab environment, and it's incredibly significant, as it's the first two-headed shark discovered in an oviparous or egg-laying shark species. Since the sharks rarely live for long, it's hard to determine the cause of their mutation, but Valentin Sancoma, the leader of the new study, believes that the most likely cause among his lab-raised sharks is a genetic disorder. However, other causes in the wild could include viral infection, pollution, or metabolic disorders. It could also simply be a result of overfishing, which is reducing the shark population, encouraging inbreeding. Essentially, the gene pool in our oceans is dwindling rapidly, and no one is sure how far-reaching the effects will be. So now I want to hear from you. How do you feel about what's going on in South Korea? Would you want your car insurance rates to be set by your behavior on Facebook? And why do you think there are so many two-headed sharks in our oceans? Let us know down in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to SourceFed. I'm Matt Lieberman, and until next time, you're in the loop. Thanks for watching. The FCC just passed sweeping new rules to protect the privacy of citizens from internet providers keen to collect and share information about their online habits. In addition, we'll discuss the ramifications.
Like a ball, and only you can go in there and you can change the weather in it. That's what I want to make. That's my nook.
Awesome.
That's cool. Wait, why
Yeah.
would you want to change the weather?
Like whatever you want. You're like, oh, I want it to be really hot in here right now.